certain limits that I know where I can push and where I shouldn't go beyond. To deal with the exposure, you have to just talk yourself out of what's a rational fear or what's an irrational fear.
The winds are like being stuck behind a jet before it takes off. I'm like getting blown over.
In your head, you're thinking, like, this wind is gonna snap the line, I'm gonna snap the line.
Definitely the wildest rig I've ever been a part of, ever experienced.
The exposure is kind of irrational because you know the rig is bomber. Rationally, everything is safe, you just need to get on the line. I'm Tim Slab. I studied industrial design because I love to make things, use my hands. And while I was studying, I realized there's a lot of stuff in the world that there could be less of. And if I'm going to be contributing to the stuff, rather make things maybe that are made with recycled materials or at least have a longer life than things currently do. When I was studying, I also got into climbing, got into highlining. And I instantly fell in love with learning about the sport, I guess. The invisible forces, the gear, the whole act of walking. And I've been doing that very passionately ever since. A slack line is a piece of webbing that has been tensioned and anchored between 2 points on which you walk. And a high line is a slack line that has been rigged high enough to die, basically, if you fall off it without protection.
Here we are in Vessel's Eye, 250 meters above the ground. There's Ruan Kotze.
I'm Ruan Kotze. I'm a filmmaker and adventurer. I've done many missions in the Drakensberg, and it's a place that I'm very passionate about. Yo! I met Tim Slab through our mutual love for rock climbing. I've definitely noticed how Tim is pushing the sport of highlining, and that's when it hit me that I need to get Tim Slab to the Drakensberg.
The Drakensberg is massive. It's literally a barrier. Within the Drakensberg is a whole another country.
These massive peaks, spires, cliffs. You know, the cliffs there are kilometers high. Well, 1 kilometer. You seem so small in the landscape. It has a reputation as a really dangerous place, a really far out there place.
The name Drakensberg literally means Dragon Mountain. The origin of this name is unknown, but when you stand at the base of the cliff and you look up to see these jagged spires sticking through the clouds, it literally looks like the back of a dragon.
It had been a dream to put a line in the Drakensberg because those mountains are huge. And the idea of walking a high line there was just seems like you need so much gear.
I get word about this high line going down in the berg, and I am all in.
Every individual team member would have to fulfill a specific role.
I'll carry heavy, I'll mule all the stuff up there, I can help you take photos, I can help prep, but I don't want to be in anyone's way. I got a phone call from Ruan, and he asked me if I want to tag along.
This is the crew. Tim Slab, the athlete, the talent. Wesley Antonietes, climber and crazy mountain man. Dwayne Jansen van Rensburg, the only guy that has a real job, and then me, the filmmaker and the oak that thought of this crazy plan. There's gonna be no slacking except Tim on the line.
There are a lot of unknowns to rigging a highline in the Drakensberg.
If you get stuck there, you proper stuck, you way out there.
We haven't scouted it, you know, we don't know what to expect, so we're kind of preparing for the worst.
It's gonna be wild and it's gonna be tough.
To kind of minimize the unknowns for this line, we did a lot of recce on Google Earth, but the satellite images of the Drakensberg are all skewed and it's really hard to find your pinnacle, to find your points.
I guess we got to find a spot that's under 50, because we can't walk up more than 100 meters of web. For sure. We could, but we're going to be
Mission. Can you zoom in there?
There was very little information on in the context of highlining in the Drakensberg.
Ideally, we go off this pencil, off this pinnacle, and we gooi like. Yo.
That's big.
That's too big for us right now.
Alright, it's happening. It's happening. All of a sudden, 3 weeks time it's going, where's you in? Yes, I'm in. I'm ready, I'm packed.
It was hard to prepare. I didn't think about it too much.
Tim, dude, we got the highline thing. We keep going all these climbing trips. You ready for this big highline mission? I haven't thought about it. You thought about it? No, thought about it a bit. Okay, dude, I'm just saying, we gotta prep, you know, we need to put some time into this thing. It's never been done. There's a lot of unknowns.
I really didn't want to overthink it. If I'd thought about all of the possibilities, I don't think I would have been able to prepare realistically.
All right. The day before, Tim, dude, are you ready? Have we packed? No, dude. Have you got food? No, we haven't got food yet.
I just knew I trusted in myself to take what was needed.
Tim, okay, I'm gonna go buy food for this whole trip. I'm gonna knock off work early. You stop doing work, you need to make those ground stakes, dude.
I took the worst cases into account. I built some stakes to peg into the ground if there was really no anchors. And other than that, I just packed for the nights we'd prepared to stay. A little bit of clothes, bit of climbing gear. Getting picked up, seeing all the gear in the boot, really made me realize that this was real, it was happening.
Oh, how's it, Tim?
Hey, everyone.
Ready to send it.
Psych, dude.
Alright, we threw Putuchava, we threw the gates, we're on the brick road going up towards the Drakensberg.
You're seeing these massive mountains, you're not even close yet, and they're already looming over you.
And it's quite crazy how quickly you forget the vastness of the berg.
Good boys.
The excitement's there. We're arriving at Witzieshoek. It's tomorrow we're hiking and this is happening. We are ready. We've got to do a bit more prep in the evening, sort out some gear, see how heavy things are going to be. Do we need a porter? Do we have money for a porter?
So the game plan, have an early night. We wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
It's 4 in the morning. I'm whispering because there's other sleeping. How's it?
It's surprisingly easy to wake up at 4 a.m. when everyone is so excited. Things are ready. We are going. Woo!
Start the car, and there's a bit of a squeaky. It's fine, it's just warming up. It's a cold morning, it's a cold start.
Yeah, the road's a lot worse than I remember. Now we're cruising up this heinous road. Skadonk. Smell a bit of rubber, it's fine, it's normal. Tim, Jackie has these smells, they come out of her every now and then, it's fine.
I think it's dust. Rowan calls, no, stop the car, we gotta check this out. I think it's steam.
I hate stopping my car and having a look in the bonnet because I don't know what I'm looking for or what I'm looking at.
She's full of water.
Open that bonnet, steam comes out. Oof, yeah, no, that's hot. That's weird. Why does the car overheat? I don't know.
Just the radiator. Steam. Don't put your face near there. It's fucking boiling water. So now we're running this car. We still have about 10 k's of dirt road to go.
Well, we are driving to the temperature of the car. I don't know if you can see. So we don't put the revs too hard to get it too hot. So we're just hitting a young second gear all the way up on this lovely paved road up to the Sentinel.
The fan valve broke.
Oh yeah, the fan valve broke. It wasn't just overheating. Well,
So we're driving 100 meters, stopping, letting the engine cool for about half an hour. Drive another 100 meters, stop, let the engine cool.
Jackie's a strong girl. She's bringing us. She brought us from there. Jackie had a boo-boo in the parking lot down there, and she's still fucking cruising up here, dude. Look how far we've come.
Eventually, 2 hours later, on a 10k bit of cuff dirt road, we make it to the Sentinel car park.
I was thinking it's quite a bad omen, like maybe this is a sign we should stop. You know, the car's not even letting us get to the car park.
The sun is up, we are behind schedule, but it's fine. We're here, we're still in it, the psych is still high.
Spending multiple nights in the Drakensberg, sleeping in a cave, in the dust, in the wind, you want to take people along with a high threshold for discomfort.
It's gonna be a big walk in the sun, but that's what we came for. Fucking sucked.
Alright boy, we're in it. The hardest part of the hike's done. We're doing it.
Climbing the chains with like 30 kilo backpacks was quite a slog. The mission was to go towards Tugela Falls, but before you reach the falls, you hit a right and you just kind of go straight over the plateau, basically, kind of eastwards. None of us had been to this cave yet. None of us had been to Fidi.
6 hours later-ish, we move our way to the escarpment, arrive somewhat near Efidi, and lost but not lost. You know, we know where we are, but we're not where we exactly want to be. We're not in the cave.
You know, you walk in like a penguin. You just one step at a time. I think the walk there took about 7 hours. We finally get to this cave, take our packs off.
If you can even call it a cave, I mean, it's like just a really small overhang.
Mega relief. And just like a big weight off the shoulders.
We kind of just got there, relaxed, chilled, have a bit of a rest, have a bit of a nap.
This is heaven, dude. This is home. We're home. Home for the fucking 3 nights.
Now the next thing to do was focus on the rigging.
Not much sleep that night. I think it was just excitement, nerves, like.
A lot of excitement. I was keen because an entire day was prepared for rigging, which meant we had to climb, we had to rig, we had to build the anchors, we had to pull a line. And I love all this stuff, so it was like a big day of fun for me.
scouted out the line basically the day before.
Okay, we found this big block. We're standing on it right now. We're gonna sling this guy. Maybe back it up with a bit of ground stakes.
It's not just a easy, accessible, folks are putting in bolts. It's an area that's not climbed in very often, and for Tim to go there and do a line like this is really crazy.
Alright, this is the spot. We're climbing the southeast Fidi Pinnacle. We gotta get down there. Guidebook says you go down this whole other gully and it's this whole blah 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 blah.
It wasn't very easy to access the pinnacle. You basically had to rap.
Happy?
Yeah, roughly. One side's roughly done. Now we go climbing.
Fresh.
Me and Wesley wrapped down this fixed line. It's like full 60-meter wrap, 60-meter abseil.
You wrapped off the end of your rope onto a ledge, did a bit of a hop, skip and a jump, down climb into a saddle by the Fidi Pinnacle, a little bit more scrambling around. Alright, this is the base of the route, we think. Didn't exactly have a guidebook with us. I've never climbed in the berg. This was a nervous and big undertaking. You hear a lot about climbing in the berg.
The rock isn't always the best, so it has a reputation as a really dangerous place, a really far out there place.
Wesley led the whole climb, which I was pretty grateful for.
I did a nervous, sketchy, grass slopey, traversey, solo-y, weird thing of the first pitch. Did not like it. I was not a fan. Get to the top, get to the summit, just hugs all around, super soaked. We're on this isolated like pinnacle, almost knife blade. It's like very clear that not a lot of people have been here, and this is a very special place to be.
I've been making my own gear since like I started slacklining. Obviously, you gotta try it, test it, and you gotta like build the comfort and confidence you have in your own gear. I use Dyneema to make slings, and these slings you can use in a variety of ways. You just need to make sure that they retain their strength. Dyneema is plastic, funnily enough. It's a collection of thousands of little strands of plastic. Dyneema is roughly 15 times stronger than steel, weight to strength ratio. We like to rig natural, just because once you walk away, there's almost no evidence that an event has happened. Rigging natural means using natural protection. You use the gear you have to interact with those features in the rock, and then once you're finished rigging, once you've finished using those anchors, you can very easily remove those anchors and take them away with you. It's common practice around the world for people to bolt because it's safe, but we chose not to do that in the Drakensberg just because it's such a wild place. By bolting, you're impacting the rock. You're like creating a dent. You're gluing a piece of metal that will be there as long as the rock will. We only have one planet. We only have one Ifidi buttress. We only have one Drakensberg. So rigging all natural in the Drakensberg is a bit risky. The rock is notoriously bad. They say when you grab a jug in the Drakensberg, just remember to put it back. There might not even be enough of it to make things safe. So it's a big risk going out there.
Tim has been pretty adamant on rigging natural as much as possible. The rigging day was one of the most exciting days of the trip. It's like we've got this massive puzzle to figure out.
Finding anchors up there took quite a while. I climbed to the tag line and I'd marked 50 meters on each point because we could safely rig 50 meters. We pull the tag line over and those knots are far from the other side.
Now we are well aware that the gap is much, much bigger than we thought.
Which meant that we couldn't rig in the way that we'd planned by using the high line as a main and a backup.
We've got our knot on this end. The guys across pull it tight and you can see that knot is nowhere near the other side. Hey, Ruan, guys, how far is that knot from you? Sure, guys, it's far. Maybe like 20 meters? 20 meters! Now what are we gonna do, you know?
So me and Wesley had a good few minutes talking about making a new game plan, how we could do this. We only have 2 trad ropes, 1 rope's over there, what the plan is. Okay, we don't know. Okay, think of something, make up a plan. It'll go, we just have to do it. I wasn't too certain, just have to do it safely and properly. I leave Wesley on the pinnacle, and now I have to build the other anchor, the side that we tension from. The side that's on the escarpment. So I spend at least 2 hours building that, making sure it's solid, I'm happy with it, padding everything, reinforcing it, backing things up. In this time, the wind had picked up huge. When we had read the weather report, it said the winds were 60 to 65 kilometers an hour winds. So it was bad. We couldn't even hear each other talking across the valley.
I was getting so cold. The wind was pumping so much. I walked all around that pinnacle looking for any form of shelter. I don't even know what direction the wind was coming from. I couldn't do anything except basically just do star jumps to keep warm.
It was all blind basically, very uncomfortable. So in this time I'm busy building the other anchor. Wesley's over there with a little bit of food and just a windbreaker, little thin thing, freezing his gat off.
And now it's time. I've got my side set up, Tim's got his side set up. I have never seen a high line whip in the air like it is whipping now. I don't like the sound, I don't like the look of it, I don't like where I am. I'm stuck on this pinnacle, I don't have a rope to rappel with, I don't have a rope to ascend. The only way for me to get back to that side to go have dinner and get warm is to cross this high line.
It's hectically windy. The line, as you can see, sometimes is horizontal. We're going to have to address that later, but we just want to get the backup up.
Sick.
Yeah, boy.
One thing about playing in the big mountains is that things can change in an instant.
It's known that rope and webbing and a lot of wind can cause a lot of abrasion and sometimes lead to the high line failing. So we decided just to leave the 2 systems apart, which meant that the slack line, the actual webbing, was buffeting and blowing, a lot of oscillations in the wind. It was pretty disturbing, very scary, a lot of movement. So then Wesley's out there.
Tim's like, alright Wes, my anchor's good. If your anchor's good, you should be good, dude. I'm like, alright Tim, cool. My anchor's good. I walked around again, I checked, I'm like, alright, I trust Tim. It was a special moment for me to be like, this is it, Wes, you gotta trust yourself, you gotta trust your teammates in this, and now's the time.
He's basically the first person to cross the line on the buggy.
As soon as I get on that line, that thing goes even more hectic. I'm like, alright, cool.
Getting whipped around basically.
This thing is whipping into my helmet. Holding my breath. Look down. No, don't look down. Keep going. Get to that other side. Woo! Yeah! We in it, dude. It worked. The line's up. Everything's lacquer. Everything's safe. Oh my goodness.
How was it?
Yeah, wild. Definitely the wildest rig I've ever been a part of, ever experienced. Yeah, big day, long day. I was, yeah, it was also cold outside. All I had was my little windbreaker. And then Tim left me, then the wind picked up like crazy. And on that entire pinnacle, I searched all over the place for a place without wind. It did not stop. It just got colder and colder. I got hungrier and hungrier, scareder and scareder because I had to go across this line. Woo!
That relief was just...
It's coming dark, and the elements have the line. It's there, and we've done what we can do to keep it safe for the night. Hopefully it's still alive in the morning. Then we'll choose. Then you're gonna walk it.
Whiskey, Oaks.
Whiskey!
Whiskey!
Weather's terrible, we pack our shit and go straight to the cave, where we get some shelter, but not the most shelter.
Oh, who knows how long.
Yeah, I ain't never spent that much time rigging anything.
I didn't even look at the floor when I was shimmying over. I was just like, yeah, this is the shackle, this is the beaner.
I was the same. I mean, I'm like,
Belaying myself, like, okay, pulling slack, okay, I'm stuck, what's holding me back? Dwayne, you need to give me some slack. Okay, I'm still stuck. Oh, the beaner. Oh, dude.
but then when I was in the middle, it was just like, had this random time where it wasn't so windy, and I was like, oh, it's actually not so bad out here. But then that thing starts smacking you in the helmet, and you're like, it's not so nice here. Let's carry on, let's quickly get back across.
Yeah, I could hear the fastenings of my helmet going.
Now that I'm here, my fears shall decrease. Hey, Wesley, what you doing? About life, making my way to the east. From four square yard struggler, with G's on time. Your God, hit me with that patrol.
That's it. Pretty big for the camera.
I didn't know there was that much. I hardly slept. Cooking dinner that night, all I could think about was the high line in the wind. Like, I was really anxious. If I could hear the high line, I was nervous because I knew it was like whipping. And if I couldn't hear the high line, I was nervous because I thought the line had ripped itself apart, which basically means the gear is unretrievable. I wake up, the wind is still howling, and I walk out of the cave and I can see the line still flapping in the wind.
Okay, the line has been up all night. The sun has just risen. As you can see, it's really blowing. It's been blowing all night. The static anchor's nut has come out, and the nut was just holding the line down. So I don't know how much the wind has been doing to that anchor. We're going to have to find out. The only way to do that is to shimmy over. So the first crossing is going to be a little bit scary. And then once I've done that, check the anchors, I'll tape the line and give it the first burn.
I mean, the wind was absolutely relentless. 65km/h winds that, started about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it did not stop the entire night. It was the most irritating thing. It was wild. Hearing that thing whipping all night long definitely adds a certain level of stress. We understand what wind can do to these things, and it's just like a little bit nerve-wracking. But the next day, regardless of when you're going to try walk this thing, we need to check the anchors again. We need to make sure everything's fine. That first time Tim went across the high line, again, it was like holding your breath. So much tension that that line whipping in the air becomes silent. You're just watching your friend go out, and it's intense. Tim jimmies across, again another sense of relief. We can breathe. Tim gets outside, plays around there for maybe 30 minutes doing his thing. Can't really hear, we're not really communicating at the moment. Then Tim basically comes back across.
Okay, I've just been over to that side to check the anchors, and during the night the tie down had popped, so one of the strands has been eaten all the way through, rubbing on the rock, and there's like sheath is gone and there's this much exposed core, like this much. I've just taped a few parts. I don't want to tape too much. I don't want the rope to fold over the webbing and cause friction and break. So I'm hoping the wind will die down and then I'll give it a bash with what tape is there. Yeah. Hectic start, man.
The dynamic is still there. It's still strong. It's just the sheath. Didn't feel great about it, but understanding everything, it's actually still fine. It's survived the night. If it can survive that, barring a few other things, the line's good. We're feeling much better about it.
So now it's the day to walk, and the wind hasn't let up. Still like 65-kilometer winds. Your hairs in your eyes, it's just like really uncomfortable to be out there. But it's the time to walk,
This is our day to walk the line. That's our window. The next day is a de-rig and walk out. So this is our day.
So now going out in that wind was quite a scary ordeal. The line was oscillating so much because once I get on the line, I add a bit more tension to the line, and now there are these even stronger and harder oscillations, and I'm just holding on this line, getting pulled around like I'm nothing, and it was like almost impossible.
He is just being blown up and down with the line. I mean, it was silly.
I would stand up and the wind would come out of nowhere, grab the line and take it like 2 meters to the left, 2 meters to the right. It was just insane.
Please wind, come on.
The oscillations, even while being on the line, would bounce me up and down and left and right, and it just felt like utterly impossible.
Fuck. I don't know.
I could barely stand up. It was like not the day to walk. This wasn't happening. So we bailed. Come to the cave, could make some tea, just wait it out.
So
let's hope to the mountain spirits that it calms down a little bit later. Might be a bit cloudy, but we'll get some stillness.
I think so. okay, we're gonna wait it out. We get a bit of a weather forecast. Winds are predicted to continue to pump at 65 k's for the rest of today and the whole night going into tomorrow morning. The following morning they're supposed to die down, and that following afternoon when we were supposed to be walking out with the D-rig, that is when the winds dropped down to 5 k's. So we're like, amazing. That's it. We're just gonna have to push it. We can walk that afternoon D-rig. We'll spend an extra night, and then we'll hike back the following day. We can do it. You know, everyone call your boss. Tell them, sorry, we're gonna be late.
Cool. What can we do in the meantime? We had seen some boulders when we had collected water. So that afternoon, in the howling wind, we found some boulders.
Guys, I mean, there's nothing else we can do except try have a good time. And that's what we did.
First ascent, alpine.
Yeah, come on, Wayne. Yeah, boy. Yeah, come on.
Nowhere.
Up left, big up left. Come on. Woo! That's nice the race. F fucking A. Now that's what I call the first ascent.
That was 80. Holy! Oh, that was sick! I'm so glad I did that.
Just had a good fun time frolicking in the mountains. Called it early, had an early dinner, had an early night. Still that lions flapping in the distance there. Still nervous. Are we gonna walk? Is it gonna happen? One thing we learned very quickly in the mountains is that it just does its own thing.
Next morning, sun is out, it's bright, it's nice. It was still, and there were these massive clouds like rolling and building these like beautiful shapes. And that was when we decided to go and walk.
It's time. Tim, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready, dude. Everyone ready? Let's go.
Game plan on, like now this is time to do it. This is the opportunity. Go down, I get on the high line, everyone's in position, cameras are rigged, like drones are out. This is the on-site. This is my first time seriously trying to walk.
Hey Tim, just on site it, bruh. Day on site.
So I get up, start walking. The line is a bit rough, but it feels alright. I'm in a good pace. I don't know, like something catches, something isn't good, and I fall. Now I think I've duffed it, I've fluffed the on-site. This is like the opportunity. If I don't walk it, we have to spend more time, and time is precious, so I'm just trying to get this thing done. Stand up, I walk at least halfway across the line. Walking feeling good, in the middle of the line, that's where the biggest fight is. Pop off there. Now, it's not a send, but I still feel good. It's like good progress, the line is doable.
Now we're getting ready to walk it again within a space of a minute. It's white out. Those clouds came from the valley floor and they just, boom, just lingered right in our face. And they just stayed like that.
Mist everywhere. And it's blowing up in the valleys. When I get onto the line to try and walk, I'm like covered in dew. My hair has water on it, my face is wet, like it's just moist and damp. The winds, there's hardly any wind, but it's wet and blind. I tried to walk in this mist, but that wasn't gonna happen. I need to wait a little bit. This mist is a bit fucking weird. It's like walking blindfolded or something. There's no point of reference. Well, we got what we wanted. It's quiet. It's calm, still, but we can't see anything. Take one sense away. Give us one thing, take another away. I think we should just hang out a little bit. Still kind of early, we still have time before we need to de-rig.
So now it's like 1 o'clock, and we're supposed to have, you know, we were saying, okay, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we can de-rig and pack up stuff. We'll hike early in the next morning. 1 o'clock comes, 2 o'clock comes. All right, guys, we can push it to 4. 4 o'clock's not so bad. I'm happy to de-rig at 4 into the night. Not a problem. Still misty, still can't see anything. 3 o'clock, nothing, can't see anything. There was a, there was a time. We just chilling there. We went back to the cave because it's misty, you can't see anything. I was in my sleeping bag. All of a sudden, I just saw blue sky. I remember jumping up. Guys, it's clearing. We gotta go right now. All of us get our stuff. We basically run over to the line. It's still like a little bit of blue sky. As Tim's like getting on, tries, white out. And then it stays white out. There was our window. It's gone. Tim blew it, dude. Tim, you had your time in the afternoon, and now it's gone. The mountain says we gave you time, and you blew it.
This is now when you're supposed to be de-rigging, packing up, and then preparing to walk home. This was our 4th night in the Berg, and we had planned to stay in the Berg for 3 nights. So, yeah, it was crunch time. A real decision had to be made at this point.
Alright, it is now getting to de-rig time.
4 o'clock.
It's 4:30.
4:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the verdict?
I think we need to call it. Gotta get the line down. You think we can do it another morning?
I'm think we're capable. So this is my thought. So Jackie is still without a fan belt. So regardless, whatever time we get back tomorrow, we're still going to be stuck there another day. I think food-wise, we got all that smash.
It's the same food situation, really.
It's the same food situation.
Yeah.
We got all that pasta tonight. We might just have to have a fucking smash sachet to
smash
share,
sash.
and we can do it.
Can do it.
But I hear your concerns. Already now de-rigging is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, my concern is if the weather's any worse than this, then we're pushing the hike back into the evening, and we know that, it's predicted that rain is coming. And I don't think any of us really want to be fucking slogging in the rain. I don't. If we can miss it, then
I don't, but I can.
We can all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't really want to.
So the real question is...
These are my only pants. Gonna get back to Bitsy.
These are my only pants.
I don't know. I think the risk might be worth the thing, because next thing tomorrow morning we just have this perfect 2-hour window. You know, it could be a perfect morning. It could also not.
The worst case is we have bad wind and this and rain. That's worst case. But at least
that's worst case.
that's absolute worst case. But all the gear is fine in the wetness. It's already kind of wet. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I want to try. Okay, we're gonna fucking spend the morning. We're gonna go for it, dude. We can go back to the cave and have some tea.
Let's do exactly that.
Okay.
I love it when any trip comes to this decision, like, do we stay or do we go?
You can use it on
How's it, Oaks?
long distance.
We're in the inside of a ping pong ball here.
Now we wake up, alarm goes off 4:30 to be ready by 5 to get onto the line. And as the light starts to like peer over the horizon, there's this sea of clouds as far as the eye can see. It was like an ocean of clouds.
This is why I fucking love making big decisions in mountains. The whole of the Drakensberg floor is just covered in clouds. Absolutely beautiful. Holy moly, this is it, dude. Like, this is what we waited for. We gotta go. We gotta go now. I don't even think we ate breakfast that morning. We just were too excited.
Okay.
There was no wind, there was no mist. This was like the time, you know, this was the gift of the mountains had given. Like after all this waiting, all this like patience. A bit of pressure, quite a lot of pressure, because I wanted to do this line really badly. Get on the line, walk for like 10 steps. Had a fall, okay, fine, just warming up.
The whole motion of this whole event was just so like slow, and that sun just took forever, and it just got better and better. And while all this is going on, Tim's just getting warmed up, and he's on the line and he's walking, and I'm filming in this, and he's just swaying in and out of this ball above the clouds, and just looking around my camera like, what is going on, dude? This is like literally the most unreal thing I've ever seen.
I still haven't sent, but I'm just trying to calm down, giving myself space. Everybody gives the go, ready to go. Okay, this is the chance.
Yes, boy!
Fuck yeah, dude! Fuck yeah! This is wild, walking in this, like, yeah, just that one point in time to spend zoned in and walking a high line in this magical place it was all worth it, really. That was the time. I sent the line, like, I did it. walked the whole thing without falling, got some epic shots, and all in this like teeny, once in a lifetime, pristine, magical moment in the mountains. It was like pretty special.
That morning, I got to document history in the making. Tim Slab walking the first highline in the Drakensberg.
Leashing Up The Dragon! Fuck.
It was epic. It was so epic to witness, so epic to be a part of, and that was it. It was just like, what now? Do you just take it all down? Let's get out of here.
I'm a big fan of natural protection, natural rigs. It's funny, like, plastic is bad for the world. Plastic is the source of a lot of waste and like pollution, but it's also a source of highly functional and useful product. The entire rig that we used was like 90% plastic. The whole thing we walked on was plastic, but we rigged all naturally. You pull that tagline over, your mate lets go of the tagline on the other pinnacle, disappears with the wind, you coil it back up. When we stripped everything, once we de-rigged, you pack everything in your bags and there's nothing left. It was like, there may as well have been nobody there. Natural, dude. Natural points. 100 points for natural. I think we should approach every outdoor activity in that sense. Every time you go somewhere, you leave a trace. Go there with what you have, be prepared, have your adventure, and then try and remove probably more than what you came with. Use these spaces as sanctuaries, as havens, as like chapels, as sacred places to have your fun, have wild experiences, and then leave with those experiences, crazy footage, and sore knees.